Welcome back to the Void Compass. Now, I realize most of my viewers have already surmounted some of the earlier challenges in this journey. But as I wish to meet everyone exactly where they are and leave nobody out, I have to balance out some of my more esoteric offerings with some very practical ways of approaching this journey. And this is what we're going to touch on today. We're going to touch on one of the earlier phases, which is the addiction-prone phase of this journey. The addictive behavior, the fear-based energy manifest as obsessive behavior. Now, excuse me. Now, as you know, at the beginning of this journey, you are afforded the ability to remain in their space and to interact with them in a seemingly harmonious environment. You're able to enjoy that time, the interactions, the space, the physical touch, the conversations, the company, until that point where the energies build enough and the roles suddenly come into action. The roles of chaser and runner. Divine feminine, that's you watching this video, whether you're male or female, and the divine masculine, who is the person who is not watching this video, who is doing a lot of running. Now, the reasons for that energetic wall coming up, are not exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video. We are discussing the addictive behavior that stems from that occurrence. Once that occurs, yes, you are stuck in the obsessive behavior until you transmute, shift it, and neutralize it. This is where I want to take you today. So let's address some of these addictive behaviors. One of the most important prominent ones is obsessive thinking. And it is from that place that every other addictive behavior will stem. For you are so deep in mind energy, it is completely steering the ship. It is screaming in your head the majority of your day, from the moment you get up in the morning till the moment you go to sleep at night. You will think of them, think of them, think of them, of every possible scenario that you could have done differently, different behaviors. What could I have said? How could I have been? Do they think of me? Am I on their mind? Is this all in my head? No, it can't be in my head. Oh, but it is. From that energetic standpoint, every other addictive behavior will stem. And this will come into play when we talk about neutralizing it. But first, what other addictive behaviors do many people fall prey to? Well, you start consuming all sorts of content. Firstly, before you even know about twin flames, you'll consume content that tries to give you a heads up to be able to get a read on what their behavior is going to be towards you within the coming weeks, months, or years. So you'll start watching energy reading videos, tarot videos. Somebody will be pulling out cards and telling you, oh, well, this happened because so-and-so. And if you're just patient, yes, they're dreaming of you too, but they just can't get to you right now. And then you will have extreme emotional reactions to that. You will cry and you will release and you will hold on and you will hope. And then you will oscillate between, no, that can't be right. How can this message be right? I've just heard this video and now today I watched that video and they're saying something different. So you'll oscillate between those states when you look at content like that. And then eventually you'll run into actual twin flame content that speaks of the dynamic that I speak of and many others do. And then you'll start consuming that content ravenously, trying to soak in and absorb osmotically every potential bit of information that you think is going to give you leverage on what is happening energetically. So you become so absorbed in mind. Tell me, explain to me, teach me, show me what I need to do, what buttons do I need to press to make this shift. Still stuck in mind. Now, If you're not in contact with your twin during this time, this is a very difficult time, because your entire goal becomes, how can I shift this so I can hear them again, see them again, touch them again, whatever it is, because they're not existing in my reality. If you are in contact with them, you will notice you are attempting to change their behavior towards you, to become more consistent, to become more loving, to display and present the behaviors to you that will meet your needs, your mind's needs. I want them to be more loving with me. I want them to validate me. I want them to prioritize me. I want them to need me. I want them to fulfill that feeling of safety that I need. So you will obsess on this content to try to pull that in. Your interactions towards them will be obsessive as well. You will write them a text and you will spend 15, 20 minutes finding the perfect words and the perfect punctuation marks and the perfect usage of emojis to display your relatively aloof but just a little bit invested, empowered state. I don't need you, but I'm writing you. Of course, because you're approaching it through mind. You want to formulate the perfect strategy to get them back. Right? But the reality is, this is an energetic connection. Before you even type a single word, it's a closed system. They can already feel your intent long before you've even begun typing. But that is the obsessive energy. You will lust after them. You will experience a lot of Kundalini energy rising up within you. But as it's not yet being integrated and allowed to come up, you will fantasize about them. You will fantasize about them sexually. You will dream about them in that way. How can I have more of that deep, intimate connection? How can I enmesh with this other person? Because that is what is going to feel good for me if I do that. That's going to make me feel less alone. But of course, they're not another person, are they? They're a reflection of you. So you wanting to enmesh with them so that you can experience intimacy denies the fact that they are indeed you. Which means by not choosing you, you are not choosing them, so they can only reflect that same lack of being chosen back to you. And so all of your attempts to arrange things synchronistically, but by forced synchronicity. You know, when you know they're going to be somewhere and you try to show up in some aloof manner, being all cool, hoping that you're going to run into them. You'll start to see behaviors where you'll come back home and go, why am I behaving this way? This is crazy behavior. Why am I so out of alignment with myself? I don't do things like this. I don't think obsessively about people like this. I don't behave so weak towards anybody like that. And you will judge yourself for it. You might even shame yourself for it. But you will do it anyway, at the next given opportunity, because that is how powerful the energy is. So those are just a few examples of this obsessive energy. Of course, how could I miss out the absolute classic of talking about the journey with anyone with a pair of ears or even a pulse? Wanting to share your experience because it is so otherworldly. Wanting to receive the validation from the outside world of, hey, I'm going through this. Validate it. You will tell anyone and everyone, your close friends, your family, your non-friends, a stranger on the street. You won't be able to wait to launch into the entire story because you are still so attached to what is playing out in 3D. It's exhausting. What now is the common pattern underlying all of these addictive behaviors. They are all located here. Mind energy. It is all stemming from mind. None of these behaviors are coming from soul. From that deep, divinely connected energy, that vertical pipeline straight to the divine. None of that energy is grounded in peace, in fullness, in that full recognition that you are this 5D complete being having a physical experience. None of it is centered in the heart. None of it is centered deep in the body where this spaciousness and this depth is felt. It is all here. Why does mind win out so easily over soul consciousness at this point in time? Why? Why is it so easy for mind to do this? Well, for starters, mind is really loud. It yells and it tugs and it pulls at you like an unruly child on the verge of a tantrum. It wants to have its needs met, and it cries out to you and focuses on the exterior and says, that is going to fix the way I feel. Make it happen. Soul is gentle and quiet. You have to tune into soul to be able to hear it. You have to move away from mind. You have to be in that deep meditative state to be able to start to hear soul, to hear what it is trying to bring you towards. Truth doesn't need to scream and yell. It needs to sit there until you acknowledge it, until you rise in frequency to be able to even perceive it. It's not loud. It doesn't need to be. So what is stopping you from moving into that space? If you know now that all of this obsessive energy is stemming directly from mind, how is it then neutralized? Why is it so challenging to come into a place where you can begin to neutralize it? Because the source of the addictive behavior that you are experiencing and presenting with in this case is not a lack of information. It's not because you don't know enough. It's because of the pain still present within your field. It is the pain present within your system that your twin is currently, by design, reflecting to you with their absent behavior, with their apparent rejection of you, with their potentially harsh and cold treatment, their hot and colding, their breadcrumbing, whatever 3D definition you wish to give, whatever label you wish to give. That behavior is a reflection of the unaddressed and unacknowledged and untransmuted pain that is present within your field. So, you moving into that space where you can transmute this and address this with unconditional love is what is going to clear the space and make it easy for you to sink deep beneath the waves of the mind into the depths of the body where soul is felt and where obsessive and addictive behavior does not exist. Where you're not victim to that anymore because you can feel the fullness of who you are. But when you attempt to move deep into your body, into a meditative state, and you are met with extreme resistance, anxiety, pain, grief, longing, what then will you do? But rise up instantly back into mind and say, no, 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 no. I'm going to figure this out. Let me watch another tarot reading. Let me reach out to them. Let me formulate the perfect text to get them to respond to me in the way that I want. Here is a strategy, a technique that I want you to employ when you find yourself stuck in that place. Before enacting the addictive behavior, now you know a few. Here's what I want you to do. Ask yourself, what is the intent behind this action that my mind is proposing to me right now? Why do I want to reach out right now? Before you just automatically play it out, before you just react to the stimulus and enact it, take responsibility. I want you to respond. Ask, what is the intent behind this? Why do I want to text right now? Slow down, breathe, and the answers will come. Because I feel so lonely. Because the feeling of abandonment is killing me inside. I can't bear to believe that they don't care about me, and I just want to feel validated, and I just want to feel safe for just a moment. If they would answer me, it would make me feel that way. Good. Then that's the state of being that is coming up inside you to receive your attention, acknowledgement, and love. You need to feel safe. Then you must provide that feeling of safety. You must meet your needs. They will never meet your needs because they are a reflection. How can the mirror smile at you when you are frowning? Don't you have to smile first? Can you force the mirror to smile when you are frowning? No, you cannot. You have to smile first. This is the same. How can they reflect safety or a consistent presenting of love towards you when you are not feeling safe on your own? When you are not bringing that frequency of unconditional love into your being, how can they then reflect that? The way out of addictive behavior is to meet your own needs that are creating the addictive behavior to begin with. There is a source for every addictive behavior. There is a painful, unacknowledged, unaddressed, and unloved source within you that is begging to come home to your unconditional love. That is your power. You are transmuting this energy for the both of you. They're unable to do this work. They're the reflection. This is why I say, do not get attached to the physical circumstances. They are there to help you. How lucky you are to have this 3D based reflection to show you exactly what you need to be working on. And before you say, well, they're not present in my life, they're not reflecting anything to me. Yes, they are. With their absence, they're reflecting to you abandonment, rejection, feeling unloved, feeling unseen. This is what you are working with. This is what is coming up for you in this moment. So before you start reacting towards addictive behavior, I just need to enact this. I just need to pull on this string and push this button. Stop. Take a moment. Instead of reacting, respond to the addictive behavior. Recognize it as coming up to try to change the way that it feels. It doesn't want to feel this way. And the mind can only see separation consciousness. It cannot understand this journey for what it is. So it says, I must do, I must do, I must do. No, you must be. You must be with yourself. Intimately, deeply, bring your awareness deep into your body once more, where soul can be heard, soul can be felt. When you find yourself going back into the story once more, that same addiction coming up, thinking about it, what you could have done differently, when was the last time you saw them, remembering all the dates. This happened on this date. This is where we were when we talked at that point and I had this really painful experience. Go back in. The mind will only know the painful side of this journey. But soul knows exactly why it has brought this to you. It is the twins' eternal responsibility to reflect this back to you. That is how much your soul loves you and how much your soul wants to wake up in this lifetime. That it has created all of these circumstances for you as an absolute fail-safe to ensure that you wake up and you come into alignment with it. Now, if you're stuck in addictive behavior, if you're stuck in the story, stuck in thought, and you want help and guidance in moving out of that space into a place of absolute autonomy and peace and relief from all of this addictive behavior and obsessive thinking, reach out to me. Let's work through it together. All the information is in the video description. I'm going to leave it there, but I will see you next time on The Void Compass with more.